Welcome back here with Goldberg. Today we're going to be talking about purchasing a vehicle, my general thoughts on the topic. And I'm not going to delve too much into the mechanical side of things because you really need to have your eyes, ears, and hands, well, don't touch everything, to get a full appreciation. Otherwise, I'll be throwing stuff out and you'll go, wait, what? But it is important, know what's beneath the hood, know what looks right and doesn't, because that could save you a great deal of money. Now, the initial question most people face, especially if they're on the younger side of the spectrum, is do I buy something that works for me or that will impress others? And it should be an obvious response, but we know that we have social media, fear of missing out, ego, so of course people tend to go more based upon what the crowd desires. I understand this, but it is important to really square things. I'm not going to go all hardcore minimalism because depending on the extents that you take it, minimalism can end up costing you money, and that recently happened to me, so we'll bring that up in just a second. There are guys who really love luxury cars, they want to mod them, work on them, and they're going to enjoy it more at the age of 18 than they will when they're 70, realistically. So that's something. But don't be the person who, oh, I'm going to try to impress this girl, or not to leave anyone out, I'm going to try to impress this guy, or this other girl, or something that's neither chemical nor vegetable, maybe a sex doll. Don't be the type of person that does that, because then you'll have this luxury vehicle with a high payment, expensive insurance, and you're driving it from home to work every day just for some clout, and it's sitting in the driveway so people can compliment you. That to me seems like a waste of money. And I don't know if it's even going to give you satisfaction in the end. So just something to consider. Even on the front of impressing people, it's worth noting that you can be the guy, let's say you've got glasses, you're bald, and you got a beard, you're in a very nice car like a Lamborghini or a Porsche. You drive, pick up the girl, you take her home, and in the driveway there is a beaten up Civic, and this is Chad's house. She gives you a peck on the cheek, goes in, and spends the night with Chad. There's those stickers you might have seen at gas stations, and they say, drive away without simping. Could be the last time you drive. And it's true, so do not make a vehicle, oh, this is going to impress someone because you're going to waste money and probably not end up where you want to be. Just saying. As far as my own experience, so I had a Chevy sedan, first vehicle. It was an ex-police cruiser, so very powerful. For the most part reliable, and of course towards the end it got like a big oil leak. The main thing with Chevys, you will typically have problems with lighting and electrical. They're just known for that. Then I had a Ford, which I bought from a dealer. It was used. That is actually the best performing vehicle that I've ever had. And after that, I got a Honda, which that was a private seller. So 2 private sellers I've dealt with. The Honda had a lot of issues despite their reputation, and it served me very well, but it's been costly for a vehicle that you buy from, someone randomly. And then more recently, I bought another Ford from a private seller. Didn't pay much money, but that thing was just a massive lemon, and I'm going to probably have to junk it. So I just encourage you, for the most part, unless you know someone and really trust them, I would advise go to at least a used dealer that has some kind of guarantee, because you're pretty much out of luck. Something goes wrong, alternator, you're going to have to pay out of pocket. There's no support or nothing. And a lot of these people are out there, especially with this COVID thing. They're trying to make money because they need money or whatnot, and they're just dishonest. My mentality is this, I'm not going to sell you something that it's not going to work for me. So if it's falling apart, I'm not going to sell it until it's fixed. A lot of people don't have that mentality, so I'm just going to advise you go to a dealership, much better. And there's a lot of other, culturally speaking, that we discuss in terms of what's a quality car. Some of them that I've been able to come up with, and if you're not from the United States, you may not be familiar, but we have Chevy Impalas. I think it's also a Chevy Cutlass. You've got the Toyota Corona, the Ford Taurus, and then a lot of people, Dodge Derp is another one. A lot of people say in the United States, if you want to be successful, the dream is the house, the white picket fence, the alimony payment, and a Chrysler Pacifica in the driveway. So just a couple of things to think about, if you're kind of curious about American culture. Now, I do want to bring this up because I understand Aaron Clary's argument about the Kia Rio. Very good on gas, very efficient. I personally am not going to suggest to you that you buy a compact car. And it's not that they're unreliable, but if you're doing any driving that is, let's say, outside of a very small town, and you have a longer commute, if you're going on the interstate, you're driving at night, you get hit in this thing. And you have to think about other people, not just drunk drivers, but idiots on their cell phone. You get hit in this thing, and it's going to be like, what was that movie? Lisa already ordered a pizza, so now you're going to have to make a living as an Eggo pancake. And that's just not a pretty image. A compact car, you get hit, you get broadsided, you get hit rear-ended, you're in pretty bad shape. I would advise getting something that's got a little bit more of a frame to it. Even if it's not as good at gas, you're going to be safer, and safety should be paramount on the road. It's not enough that you do defensive driving. With all the cell phone, all the Bluetooth, people doing TikTok, whatever, it's a very dangerous road out there, and I do not advise a compact car. So if you can get like a Honda SUV or Kia Sorento, I've heard a lot of good things about them. But in general, yeah, Asian cars are generally better, but you're going to see lemons as well. So it's not a firm guarantee. But if you can get something like this used with, at least a 6-month warranty, you're probably in pretty good shape, to be honest. Another thing I've thought of, especially now that this other car has gone bad, is maybe getting a little truck. Obviously the Tacoma is good. I like the early 2000s Tacomas, and even the Ford Ranger early 2000s, late 90s are not bad vehicles if they're well maintained. One I almost got, this was a few years ago, and it was like 85,000 miles. It was this kind of design. It was a Ranger, which I don't like just the single cab. I like the extended because you have a little bit more privacy if you bought something valuable. And then it's got the bed, and he had a camper shell on top. That's perfect, honestly, if you can get that. So that's one thing to consider. And they're not always bad on gas either compared to one of those big trucks. The big trucks, if you get a diesel, it can be good, but those are very expensive, and you don't usually find them used too much. Weirdly enough, this is also one that I've considered potentially messing with, and you guys are going to say, oh yeah, but that means you're a male lesbian. Now, if you're a male lesbian, does that mean that you get girls, or men, or neither? I don't really know. But Subarus actually have a decent reputation. There was about a 10-year period where they had head gasket problems, but if they're well maintained, they're not bad vehicles. I just like the uniqueness of this. Kind of reminds me of a El Camino, but a little bit newer, not as bad gas. So that's a possibility, the sport version, although I'll probably go for something else. So, one thing I should finally note, if you've got a vehicle that's older with a lot of miles, but it still runs well, if there is a car tax where you live, you can actually make an application to have it valued at the base level to where you pay very little. So that's something to investigate because it will save you some money. So any other topic requests, please drop them below.